In this program, I demonstrate reading an integer from the keyboard, displaying a string to the screen, and storing a value in memory. So we've already looked at displaying a string to the screen, but we'll take a look at the other two. So I have my .data section and my .text. In my .data, I've declared a variable message. My message is .ASCII-Z, which is going to be a string. And so I say, please enter value. So this is the prompt basically for the user. And then my variable where I'm going to store a value, the value that was entered by the user, I have it named num. It's going to be a dot word, it's an integer, and I've initialized it to 0. What I've noticed is when I don't initialize to 0, it gives me an error. It doesn't like that at all. So follow along here, following along in the .text, the first thing I do is print the message to prompt the user. So to do that, when you're working with a message, you need to use the LA or load address instruction. This is a pseudo instruction, so what that means is behind the scenes when you run your program, you'll see it broken into a couple of different true instructions. So load the message into the A0 register. So this is going to be the base address of the message. And then perform a syscall with code 4, and that's going to display the string. Now we can read the integer. So reading an integer is a syscall code 5. So I'm doing a load immediate of a 5 into V0, perform the syscall, and you'll see that you get a flashing cursor. So once the value is read, it is stored in the V0 register. So it completely overwrites the V05 here and with the value that the user entered. So now I want to take that value and store it in num. So what you need to do as your first step is load num's base address into a register. So that's what I'm doing here. And in fact, I'll explain that. So load base address of num into, in my case, I'm using T0. Once you've done that, then you can use the store word instruction. So store value from the V0 register, that was the user entered value, into the address located at T0 with a disposition of 0. Okay, so what this is going to do then is, since this is the base address for num, T0 has the base address for num, you're going to put the number in num. All right, so then I have the syscall to end the program, so let's just take a look at how this executes. And if you just step through the code, here is the message that's going to display first. So there it is, please enter a value. Okay, next is to read a value, right? So I'm reading the integer with syscode 5. Okay, and here, right, I clicked on next on the syscall, and notice I get the flashing cursor. So I'm going to put in 52 and press enter. Your program can't continue until it detects the enter key. Then come to the next statement, and this is going to load the base address of num into T0. Okay, and if you look at my T0 right now, I know this is cut off a little bit, but that is an address right there. Next step then is to store the value that was in V0. Notice in V0 the 52 that the user entered, and it's going to move into this location, which is right here. Okay, these, I believe, are used up with the string. Okay, and then I end the program.